What am I? What am I? Fucking magician, man? Am I some kind of fucking magician?
Am I
That
some kind of fucking magician, man?
that joke that I made a little while ago has never been more appropriate than it is today watching this show. Because let me tell you, I felt like a fucking magician.
Welcome, listeners, to episode 87 of the Lasercomb podcast where, two dudes comb through classic television with a fine-tooth laser. I am one of your hosts, NeoCal.
And I am the other host who is questioning the use of the word classic in the opening bit when referring to the show we're covering today. But yes, I am, as always, Siege Eterna, one of your hosts.
Oh, where's what would my magical name be? Uh,
That reminds me, I should actually change my name on here.
Um, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Calanus Magicant.
And look at this. Nothing in the sleeves. Calanus Magicant at your service. Specialty. Doing this. And what's this? Oh, a quarter behind your ear. Might have been a more interesting show if it was actually about street magic. Whoa.
Now watch as I'm going to saw this person in half. Can I get a volunteer from the audience?
No. A hot volunteer from the audience, please. Anyone? How about you with the boobs in the back?
Anyone? No, anyone at all. Anyone at
all?
All
right, fat middle-aged dude it is.
Meanwhile, there's like 15 dudes standing up with their arms raised.
No one? In half. No one?
No one at all?
Right, I guess I'll have to use my hot assistant.
What
did I even say what episode this is?
What are we reviewing this week, Cal?
A little show neither of us knew existed, called The Magicians.
Fucking Magicians show itself.
And it's The Magicians. Would you like some info on The Magicians? I had it up and then I closed the window because, frankly,
no, I'm good.
No, you're good.
But for the sake of the listeners who may be wondering what The Magicians is, what the hell is The Magicians? Because let me tell you, I just watched a 40-minute episode of The Magicians and I still couldn't tell you anything about it.
Okay. Well, it came out in 2015. There are 5 seasons. So people watched it.
Bewilderingly,
and it ran for 6 years.
This so this show is a Patreon pick from our longtime listener
and it's sci-fi
patron, Jared. I got to apologize in advance, Jared. We love you, but
how dare you?
But
I never apologize in advance. I apologize after I did something wrong.
One of my mottos in life is better to say sorry than ask for permission.
Better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission.
Right. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you signed up for Hogwarts, but you got some other warts. you signed up for Hogwarts and you got
genital warts.
Yeah. Which coincidentally aren't that different than Hogwarts. You just don't animals can't I don't know where it's going with this. Forget it. Terrible joke. Editor, cut that out.
Harry
Thanks,
Potter
editor.
sucks.
Harry Potter
J
sucks.
J.K. Rowling sucks even more.
Yeah. I couldn't make it through the books, and that was before she was canceled.
Before she like quadrupled down on being a terrible human being.
Well, sometimes you just got to dig in your heels and duel for the kingdom. There's like a B plot going on, and we'll get to that in a second here, folks. The
So,
magicians.
what is the Magicians about? What the
Uh,
hell is the fucking Magicians?
all right, the fucking magicians. Let me tell you, it is about
That could be a great like dance number name for like a dance troupe. The fucking Magicians.
the fucking magicians. It's an American fantasy television series that aired on Sci-Fi and is based on the 2009 novel of the same name by Lev Grossman.
What an original name.
Yeah, The Magicians.
Yeah. What
I know when I'm writing a book series, you gotta let the audience know what they're in for.
Yeah, you got to give the as generic of a title as possible so that people remember it.
That's right. and well, wouldn't you guess what it's about?
Some fucking magicians.
That's right. Students at a school for magic
I
or
didn't get
something.
I didn't get that at all from the episode I just watched, but I
Uh, in the show,
I don't
students
doubt
at a
it.
secretive school of magic find that the magical world is more dangerous than they realized, or something. I
So
didn't get that from the episode we watched.
no. So I was extremely confused because like sometimes the show is just shitty CW Game of Thrones, but then other times it's like modern day and I
It was
don't
another realm.
understand. And I
It was
don't
another
understand.
realm. Shitty CW Game of Thrones was in another realm.
Okay.
Yeah. So the more interesting plot was in the fantasy realm, and the mind-numbingly boring plot of the episode was I don't know, like finding like a magic dude who didn't know he was magic so they could like suck his magic.
Yep.
I, right?
I was more entertained by that, but for very specific reasons.
Hmm. What
Can
could
you,
they be?
can you any three guesses as to why I was the only thing in this episode I was actually interested in is what's going on in the modern world.
Was it some of the models trying to act in the show?
This
Possibly.
I'll say one thing about the Magicians. It introduced me to actress Jade Taylor, who plays Katie, who I had been her character's name is Katie, but I had been referring to her as Laptop Lady because that's how we're introduced to her in the episode. She's at a laptop.
And it
Um,
introduced me to uh
Prison Blondie.
blonde prison blondie, yeah, who is in the show for 1 minute.
Yep.
Uh and I've made that my entire identity with the show. So in between waiting for scenes where our waifus would make an appearance,
Yep.
one of us remained more thirsty than the other since she was in this for like 2 minutes. Alice, we get there's the gist of there's side plots going on.
I looked up the actress who played Alice. You said her name was 'cause and she was in a movie. I looked up her
Uh-oh.
filmography. She was in a movie that came out in 2020 called horror film called
Critically acclaimed.
Oh, absolutely. Called She Dies Tomorrow. Now, this was a movie that I had watched because my favorite film critics spoke very highly of it. And generally, my tastes tend to align with theirs, either one or both of theirs. So I gave it a shot, and well, it's an hour and 20 minutes of people staring off catatonically all of a sudden, saying, I'm going to die tomorrow. And then, spoiler, they do.
Oh shit, they do.
There's no real plot to the film other than that.
People don't think it be like it is, but they die.
And despite how terrible that movie was, somehow that hour and 20-minute movie was, somehow this 40-minute episode of television felt longer.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. There were some. I was enthused to try to understand. Yeah, I think one of us does not hide their distaste for the only 40 minutes. Oh God, felt like I just felt like I just sat through like a college like recreation of the Avengers, or on like a college budget. It's there's things happening.
Things are happening.
One of
CW
them,
things.
CW things. One is in the mystical realm, a king wants to be popular. And the way he does that is he thinks about dueling another king.
During
Yeah.
the recap, because this episode begins with a previously on the Magicians recap.
Oh, so
Um,
it does.
I knew I was in exactly what I was in for when one of the first things they show in the recap is a young chick dramatically saying to someone, "I'm pregnant,"
I
and I was like, "Oh
I was
God."
face palming so much in the I'm pregnant, and then it mentions like sexual assault in the opening too. And it was like, this man may have blanked like multiple women, but I'm the only one that got pregnant. And I'm like, what the okay? I Is this a recap? Or is this just
Right? You know, another thing that surprised me about this episode is there's only one, but a character says the word fuck late in the episode.
hmm, you're allowed one fuck?
On network TV, though, not usually.
Oh
So
yeah,
that was
you're right.
weird. I wonder if that was maybe like if the line was changed for TV, but then on like the Blu-ray release they left it in.
Oh, maybe.
But it was still it kind of caught me off guard, especially for the CW. Doing okay over there?
I tried to wrangle a very interesting co-pilot. Doing got him.
Guest host.
Guest host. All right, Apollo, what did you think of the magicians? Oh, no, just like us, you have to stay here now. You get the camera. That's right. What did you think of the magicians? Hmm? Did you think it was meowgical? What about the musical part? Pretty bad. Okay. Uh, Off you go. No, he's fallen asleep.
Aw.
Well, I didn't have the luxury of that. Um,
I did not have the luxury of a kitty cat to comfort me while watching this episode either.
I know the small wins. I am comforted by Apollo letting me know everything's gonna be okay.
He's a cute little guy.
He is. Um, geez, what can I even say? The duel's gonna go bad because King Magic, uh, the wellspring where all the magician's magic comes from, is like floundering, flickering every once in a while, like they're which gives everyone their powers.
Yep.
And I hate how they hand wave this away later. Like it's fixed in the background by fairies, but we'll get to that.
Also, the way the central conflict is resolved at the end, I got a little bit of a laugh out of it, but it's such a cheap cop out. So the crux of this is
Okay, so a magic sword is given to the king because he's never used a sword before, and he's like, I'm a magician. And they were like, yeah, but the guy you're going to face, he's dueled 14 other like sword masters before, and he's killed every opponent.
of course, and you pointed this out to me over Discord. They don't think to mention this to him until
When he's
after he makes
brainstorming,
the challenge.
like officially sends out the decree. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's like, could you have mentioned this to him when he was like
like
brainstorming this?
you couldn't have said this like, 5-10 minutes ago.
Because he was like, wait a second, how popular would I be if I won this duel? And they were like, oh, my liege, no king has ever like done a duel like before. You would be most popular. He's like, excellent. Nobody would be like,
Also,
Sire.
also he seeks to be popular. What is this, high school?
Well, you're the king. You gotta. I guess they're recently come to power, and that they don't want revolts or something like that. I'm throwing it a bone here, but who knows? There's a kingdom out there somewhere, and they're not they're possibly not happy.
A
And
kingdom of a crystal skull, perhaps.
oh, uh, which is what a gun's pointed to your head. Do you watch the extended version of the Crystal Skull or this episode again?
This episode just because of
It's shorter.
it's shorter and also my new waifu.
Me too.
I wish she was in more of the episode, but I at least was
Shia LaBeouf is swinging with monkeys vine to vine in that movie.
actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, on all fours.
It's a shame he turned out to be kind of a piece of shit because I actually like him as an actor. Like his indie work film,
Yeah,
his like indie work is actually like quite good. Like the Peanut Butter Falcon, great movie.
and I like his like artistic like wackadoo projects.
Yeah,
But
yeah. It's a shame he turned out to be uh, an
a piece of
abusive
work.
person. But I
Yeah,
mean,
and
given not to excuse it, but like I guess it's not that surprising given his past, like
yeah,
and given his upbringing, he had like a really abusive childhood and whatnot.
yeah, yeah. It's one of those things I always assumed. But fuck what. So I actually find the magical realm here. Um and the there's like a queen and or like his sister, his lover.
Great.
I don't know, some his aunt, some lady that's close to him that's advising him all the time, but that is not his wife who's knocked up. I find those two, they're acting actually quite funny and quite good, and
So
nothing else in the entire show
so
except
you
the banter between the other king and him when he's like hiding.
you like the great value Game of Thrones stuff is what you're saying more than the other stuff.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
the President's Choice Game of Thrones.
uh
No name brand, if you will.
So yeah, so the he sends out this challenge. They tell him, "Hey man, this guy's a fucking magician.
He's gonna
he's killed
he's gonna
14
fuck you
people,
up.
and this is a fight to the death." And the guy's like, "Oh shit."
But I'm a mage. I can just like do magic. And it's like, well, there's only like two sword spells in the history of like whatever, and it takes months to learn. And he's like, shit. And I'm like, sword spells? Drop the sword and like fucking cast a spell. You're a
Ah,
wizard, Harry.
but it has to be a duel with swords.
Yes, exactly.
A duel of the S words.
Yeah. A duel of the S words. And wouldn't you know it? A servant lady, or I don't know, someone comes up to him and it's like, my liege, my family served the magical bloodline for so long, and we made this sword, but we haven't been able to give it to anyone. I want to give it to you because you're the first king to duel. And he's like, oh, it's not going to matter what I use. And it's just like, but see, there's a cheat code in this sword. You just like recite this mantra, and like the sword will imbue you with like the confidence and the skill of an expert swordsman.
You just got to do up, up, down, down, left, right, A, B,
BBA,
start. Yeah.
BA, select, start, and then infinite lives. Speaking of infinite lives, the king has come back to life because he was killed already, which he makes a joke about repeatedly through the episode. So
Yeah, I was kind of wondering what was up with that, but not
not so much.
not so
How
much
much
that
were
I
you
actually
wondering?
that I actually looked into it. I was just like, oh, okay, the guy died.
And he's in good spirits about it. And
Again, Jared, I'm very sorry,
no,
but
he's not.
I just
That's
didn't
our
like
job.
I didn't like this show.
Siege messaged me like 35 seconds in and was like, this is not my kind of show. And then 30 seconds later was like, holy fuck, I hate this.
Yeah. I was like, listen, brother, I hate this.
Listen, brother. It was like 5 minutes in. I was like, oh, okay. Um, oh man. I went into it very jovially and not expecting much. And let me tell you,
You
I got
got what you
exactly what I
expected.
expected. You didn't disappoint. Uh, so the king's all like, oh, sweet. Well, it's not that I'm afraid of dying. It's that, oh, if all of I die and then the other king takes over my kingdom, he has to kill all of you. Jeez. I I pulled you all into this mess. Oh, golly. And it's like, okay, like you had like 8 advisors that could have told you this was a stupid fucking idea, and none of them did, or they lightly did because they didn't want to offend you. And it's like, I guess just put that hot like advisor chick um in different outfits, and I'm good.
There's
And
there's one part that got a laugh out of me when unfortunately it didn't really go the way that I thought it was going. But
same.
when they first start the duel, all of a sudden the Kingslayer dude just up and runs away.
So when they meet on the field and we're introduced to this other king, a really tall, magnificent looking, very serious looking group shows up
In a very like fabulous outfit.
and he's like a black bald like David Bowie in the Labyrinth. Like this white feather like
Yeah.
cloak. And I'm like, oh, you're not beating this guy. He's fighting you in like like something made by David Bowie in like the late 80s. You're fucked, man. He didn't even take the jacket off at first.
Yeah.
He dishes it later, but I'm like, you're doomed. And indeed, in the first 30 seconds, he's stabbed, like he's messing with him. The other king, like, just pokes him like right in the shoulder. And I'm like, oh, this guy's fucked. And all of his like advisors and people, they like look at each other and they're like, oh shit. And he comes back at him, and for whatever reason, the cool guy, the Kingslayer, runs off into the forest.
Yeah, he just up and turns and runs away. And
I actually laughed out loud.
I actually laughed at that too. But because I thought he was just like, fuck this, and ran away for whatever.
I thought he was yeah, he was like running. And so literally his advisor's like, he bitched out. Oh, there's another swear. He bitched out. We won. And then the Kingslayer's advisors are like, actually, the duel isn't over until one of them are dead.
Yeah.
And they're like, so what do we do? And it's like, well, go on, chase after him.
Into the forest with you.
Into the forest, go along. Nobody else, all the witnesses, they don't accompany them. And I'm like, that's
into the rural area of North Vancouver with you.
Into the rural area of North Vancouver. Don't get lost. So the kings run off into the gay forest because I missed the part where he like finds a magic tree. Is that the wellspring? I don't know, man. He finds a magic tree, and it's called the gay forest. I'll get to that in a second. I'm not using that as like an insult. It shall be deemed the gay forest that brings two nations together. Brings two nations together. So what's happening in the real world? Bunch of boring shit where like a cast of people I can't be bothered to remember the names of are really serious because like someone's after them and they need to go get magic from this other guy who doesn't know that he's magical.
Yeah.
And so they storm into his office, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, magic's real, bitch. Now give us your magic.
Yeah, we've got laptop lady, my new waifu. We've got serious business lady, and we've got suave dude.
Every CW dude.
Yeah, we got suave
interchangeably. You could swap this guy out for any other like kind of white dude with like 5 o'clock shadow, and I would not tell the difference.
They see this guy talking on TV, this like senator, and they're
Right,
like,
a
"Oh,
senator.
his magic is off the charts. He's like super evil." And they're
Oh
like,
man, his like I picture like a Ghostbusters like boop, 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 beep, 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 beep. The readings are off the charts. Like
"Oh yeah, like
constantly.
the PKE
Yeah,
meter.
yeah, yeah, that's it.
Slime. It's a river of slime."
God.
You remember back when the shitty like Ghostbusters reboot came out back in like 2016? And
Yeah, yes.
but the attitude of like a lot of people online at the time, I'm not even going to talk about like the misogyny or anything like that, but like the general attitude was that like the only good Ghostbusters movie was the first one. All of a sudden everyone like hated Ghostbusters too.
Yeah,
And
since
like
when?
yeah, it was like I don't remember like Ghostbusters 2 like being reviled by anyone. Like it's not as good as the first one, but it's perfectly fine. I really like it. And everyone I know who likes Ghostbusters also likes Ghostbusters too.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Yeah. I think it's almost as good as the first one.
Yeah. Like it doesn't have to be all or nothing.
Yeah.
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 And
But
same, I ignored everything and I was like, I'm just gonna take it for like what it is.
yeah, yeah.
I didn't like it though.
Oh, the reboot. Yeah, I didn't like it
The
either.
reboot.
I
I
wanted
just
to.
no, that's what I mean. I was like, I'm just gonna take it for what it is. And being yelled at by a bunch of people telling me that if I didn't like it, I'm misogynistic. And I'm like,
Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I guess we're just a big old couple of MAGA truckers.
Yeehaw.
So do they get the senator guy? I
Yep, they put like a patch or
Oh,
something on the back of
his
his neck.
latent power comes out. Oh, there's also another plot about like people in prison, and one of them is infected with werewolfism. R- r-
Yeah, there's this other like subplot involving this dude who is like possessed by someone, and they were talking about like trying to like what to do, whether to like leave the person like in there. I kind of assumed it was someone who had died and they transferred their soul into this person's body,
Okay.
and they were trying to decide whether they should just leave them in there or try and extract them, and like what that person would want them to do.
Right, because they were keep being like, you keep treating her like this person, but she's not. Everybody seems to understand that except you. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I barely understood what was going on with that subplot. The show
Wasn't just me? Okay.
doesn't really explain it very well. And here's the thing. This is now the 87th episode of this podcast. This is the 87th, well, actually no, 86th, because we took one episode where we kind of just vamped couple years ago.
Right, right.
So we have reviewed 86 episodes of television on this podcast now, including this one. Um, or even like the last episode, like Forever Night. Like we had never seen it before. We jumped into a random episode
I
and
didn't even know it existed.
we were able to extrapolate like the plot and like the stakes at play, no pun intended, because
A
it's a vampire show.
far older show too. So
Yeah.
it's not a modern. It's not a budget or a modern problem.
Yeah. So, and my point is like we are perfectly capable of jumping into a random episode of a TV show, not knowing anything about it, and being able to figure out
Oh yeah.
what's going on. Can't do that with this show.
And this isn't like season 11 of something we're jumping into. This is just season 2.
Yeah, season two, episode. Oh yeah, we didn't even say what episode we were reviewing.
Season 2, episode 9.
The
The
22nd episode overall, Lesser Evils, which originally aired on March 22nd, 2017. You know, 2017 was 7 years ago now.
Fuck you. Wow. Yeah.
Crazy.
I don't like it.
Not one bit.
Not one bit. Uh, wow, yeah.
I will say, I will throw this out there though too. I'm actually fairly under the weather at the moment, so that maybe that plays a part in it. I don't know, but
Um, no, I didn't. One of us disliked it. The other, I was. It was as expected, and I liked the things in like the magical kingdom and given the budget and what it had to do and that sort of thing. But at one point, the show in the magical part of the kingdom is like, hey, um, how are we going to fix the wellspring? Why don't we? Well, we could contact the fairies. This is when I was like, okay, okay. And they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. If we contact the fairies, like, here's the thing about Fae, they're very mercurial and like they twist what you say, and contracts with them have like double meanings or whatever. And they're like, so what, bitch? Get to it. And
listen here, we're gonna have fucking Tinkerbells flying all over the place, dancing on tables. It's gonna be a real mess, you see?
sugar plums, fairy dust, mass hysteria. um, so what they do is they hand wave that, and that happens in the background, and we'll come back to it a little bit later. And that's how they'll fix the wellspring. So it goes back to the woods, and for no reason, the king running away, they begin to like fight again in the forest. It's not really explained why he ran away, and the wellspring has like and like powers down, and so his like skill with the blade like disappears right when
One,
he has Kingslayer like at his mercy. And I'm like, you don't need to be good with a sword to just
yeah,
finish the job, my dude. But as we
King
find out,
King Slayer or King Playa
or King Layer,
or
uh
King Layer. Well, with that
as we
jacket, I'm sure he's getting it a lot.
and right, if I would do that episode for free if I could keep that cloak. Um, but he ends up like revealing he ends up shirtless at some point. Layers come off of him,
It's the
and
CW, of course.
yeah, and he's particularly well built. And well, maybe a certain king's hand hesitates because he's liking what he sees. Uh, so instead of finishing the job because the magic is gone and all he has to do is like push forward, he runs away and climbs a tree.
Yeah, and I like their. I'm I'm glad you got to that because I actually like their little back and forth where the king
This
play
was good acting.
the
That was
king
good
play
acting.
is like on the ground, the other guy's in the tree, and he's like the other guy is the
Come
tree
down
man.
so I can kill you.
Yeah, and tree man is like, but do I really have to die? And king playa is like, that's the rules. One of us has to die.
I don't make the rules, man.
But
If it's any
but look
consolate,
but look at it this way. At least you don't have to grow old.
That back and forth is actually the best 2 minutes in the episode.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. At least you don't have to go old. And he's like, I guess if you put me out of my misery, I don't have to like stay around for decades trying to fix a broken kingdom. And it was all like, oh, see, like, oh, that's the spirit. And besides, I'm getting at least you don't have to feel the ravages of getting older, right? And it was like, and then slowly they test the waters, and he's all like, well, if it, at least I get to, we're paraphrasing here, but at least I get killed by somebody like hot.
Yeah.
And it was all like, oh well, if I could have,
Man,
I'll leave
man,
behind a child if that will waver your sword. And he's like, oh, unfortunately it doesn't, so say goodbye. And he starts like chopping at the tree.
man, at least I get to be killed by someone so cool.
So cool. That cloak, fuck. We didn't even mention the musical part, but it's played off being like, oh, if you musical your way because people going to duels would sing to inspire their confidence. Um, Man, these two at least can act, so I'll give them that. They were charismatic. Um,
When the when the musical bit happened in the episode, I'm just like, fuck, I hate this.
that was when Chris, yeah, that was when I thought it was good, but we all have different different tastes.
Well, I have gone on record many times stating that I don't like musicals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
There is the rare exception where I do actually like a musical, but it's extremely rare. I can count the number of musicals that I actually really like on one hand.
I like Cats. I didn't think I would, but I do.
Well, you're the only one.
Oh no, between us two, yeah. But there's millions of people that like Cats.
Well,
Enough so that it was a live action movie made.
you're talking about the stage play. Yeah, the movie is quite reviled.
Oh, I'm never gonna watch that. I'm not watching that. Yeah, is it quite reviled?
It is, yeah.
I have no need to watch that when the stage play exists and is actually delivered by performers.
You know, at one point, the cats in the movie had CGI buttholes.
And they released that version of it after it had already been out in theaters.
Yes,
I know because somebody I know went to go watch the butthole edition.
Yes,
the butthole cut.
In I think actually a cinematic first and to date only. They pulled the movie from theaters very briefly, redid some of the CGI, and then released it back into theaters.
Fixed some of the CGI, including adding cat buttholes, and released it back into theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Strange.
Yeah.
There's your cat fact of the day. So it turns out he's like, oh man, I didn't even get to have sex with a man before I have a pregnant wife, and this sucks being gay and a king. And he's all like, oh, I know what you mean. I wasn't allowed to take a husband, blah blah blah, too. And he was like, well, wait, what are you talking about? And it was like, oh yeah, kings can like take a husband. And oh, you know what? It would have been nice to lay pipe in you because I think you're quite cute in a bottom kind of way. But well, unfortunately, it's time to die. And then the camera kind of like cuts because Pretty Boy jumps down because the wellspring is activated again because off screen fairies did fairy magic. Woo! Or it just came back on its own. I don't know. And he jumps down like all confident. He's like, haha, prepare to cross swords. And then we go away back to like the real world or whatever, and some bullshit happens.
We've got some frottage incoming, honey.
And okay, so there's a bad guy that finds them.
Listeners, if you don't know what frottage is, look it up.
Google. Yeah.
Just don't do it at work.
Turn off the safe mode. Oh fuck. Oh, and look, yeah, and Google the British broadcasting channel version of frottage while you're at it. And, oh, I don't even know what it was. What's happened? So in real life, there's a scary bad guy that shows up. Did you pay attention to that? That
my attention span had like heavily drifted by this point.
Someone's eyes are glowing, and there's a bad guy harassing like the students, the people in the real world, and I was like, I guess that guy's bad.
They're kind of old to be students. I'm not actually sure who or what they are.
It's a CW, man. 18-year-olds are 35. But
because I actually looked her up. My new waifu. This would have been. She's the same age as I am, so she would have been 31, 32-ish at this time.
Nice. Hey man, you can go to school at any age.
I remember when I was in university, every class I had, there was always one or two like middle-aged people amongst all the other like 20-year-olds. And one
It
of the
do be
reason
like that.
and one of the reasons why I have never gone back to school, even though I've thought about it in the past few years, is because I don't want to be that guy.
Be that guy. Don't be afraid.
Plus,
I would
school's
be that guy.
expensive.
Oh, that's a good reason.
School's expensive, and it would be counterproductive because I wouldn't be able to work as much, which means I would be making less money and I would be spending more money on education in addition to
Ain't
all of
nobody
my
got
other
time for that.
in addition to all of my other day-to-day expenses. So it's just not in the cards for me.
Yeah, ain't nobody got time for that.
It's not in the tarot cards for me.
No, it's not in the tarot cards for me either. So what ends up happening is the fairies save the wellspring or some such. Uh the king comes back and everyone's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you won. I mean, of course you won. It's good to see that you're all right." Everyone seemingly have forgotten that he was stabbed through the shoulder at the beginning of the fight. The show seems to have forgotten that too, since his mobility is perfectly fine after that.
Well, I
Um,
mean, if he can die and come back to life, maybe he has a healing
he used
factor too.
magic to heal. Yeah, sure. And he comes back, but the other king is there, King Fabulous, and they're like, "What is the meaning of this?" Like everyone's like offended that both people are alive,
But
and they're like,
wasn't
"Oh,
weren't one of you supposed to die? And he's like, well, the advantage of being the king is I get to change the rules.
and we came up with a compromise." And they're like, what's the compromise? Well, we get to split the wellspring 50-50. And also now we're husbands, so the kingdoms are linked together through marriage. And their wives are like, but they're both gay, but married to women to pass on their like lineage. So it works out. And then there's a bunch of like polyamory, low hanging fruit jokes. And uh,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
all one big, happy, polyamorous family. And then his advisor, sister, aunt,
It
lover,
kind
I'm
of,
not sure who she is all like, "Ooh, now that we're in bed with them, we could do espionage." Tee.
well, it kind of tracks that this was 2017 because remember when Polly was like really big in the early to mid 2010s?
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't seem to
Yeah.
be anymore.
What's up with that? It's not in. It's not the in thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
You know
used to
what?
meet Polly people all the time, and now I never do.
What's up with that? They gave it a try. They gave it the old maximal try. And well, there it is.
Let me tell you, it's a big fucking headache, is what it is.
And on that, so I hear. And on that note, I'm sure there's things I forgot, but we couldn't tell you. You just watched a random episode of The Magicians, Siege. Would
Hmm.
you tune in next week?
Hmm.
Think it over. Give it a.
Hmm.
I know it's a difficult decision.
No.
Or ah, especially when the internet exists and you could just follow the actress that you like Instagram.
I was just gonna say, I am just following my new waifu on Instagram now, and that's good enough for me.
It's good enough for me, damn it. Um, if it was just the magical side, like the CW Game of Thrones
Yeah.
side, yeah, if it was like low budget, like CW, like Game of Thrones, like show part, I might think about that. But the mundane, the real world, the material plane, was I was woefully uninterested in, and no,
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. There were parts that I liked, and I could see that like the books, there might be some like interest there, but couldn't do it, man.
What this show needed was some Game of Thrones level of nudity in it.
Yeah, yeah, like just a Hodor type, just turning around and you just get dong like flinging around. What you're saying is you're not asking for like fraudage, but you want the implied, like at the very least, like you want to see the disrobe. Uh, well, all you get is like partially topless men. So sorry.
I want boobs, damn it.
Well, you can't get the best of either world in this show.
And well, there it is.
Magicians, huh? Cool.
Well, see you later. Well, that was episode 87 of the Lasercomb podcast. Best way to support the show is to go to patreon.com/lasercomb, LAZORCOMB, where starting at the $5 tier, much like Jared, you can pick a show for us to review a random episode of on this podcast. We're always going to be honest with you what we think about it, so just take heed.
That's the thing. Yeah, this isn't the show where we pretend to like every single thing we see.
Yeah.
So we don't even like some of the shows that like,
we pick.
That we pick. Like I've recommended things and then we watch it and I'm like, oh fuck, this was bad.
Yeah, or what was it? Yeah, like mine, Grendizer, show I'd wanted to do for ages. And well, the nostalgia bit me in the ass on that one.
Oh man, for me it was Tripping the Rift.
Yeah.
It ain't no 3-2-1 penguins, but
what can be?
What can be? I like how that's our measure of like the scraping the bottom of the barrel is like it's still holding the bottom strong.
Yeah. Just like the King Playa is holding his new bottom strong.
Oh. They don't call me the King Slayer for nothing.
Oh. But anyway, if you want to, we also do a bonus Patreon exclusive podcast, the Super Lasercomb Patreon Super Show. The one we recorded this week was a little low energy at first because I'm not feeling well and Cal's tired and yada yada.
It winded up. We got going. Yeah.
Yeah. And you get a whole bunch of other things. We should probably do a commentary track again soon, because I was looking, the last time we did one was October.
A while back.
Yeah, that's like 8 months ago now.
Yeah. And we've got lots of candidates.
Yes, in fact, I might actually make one of the like top tier Patreon goals that you can pick a movie for us to do a commentary track of.
Oh. A whole movie.
There's a lot of movies on the list that I want to get to, but one I would really like to do a commentary track for is The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension.
That would be interesting.
Because Cal's never seen it. And that movie, I just rewatched it again recently. I've seen it twice now. That movie's wild.
It looks like it is.
I'm gonna send Cal a picture that I took. Cal, I'll send you a picture that I took from the movie. When I watched it the other night, I'll send it to you on Discord.
Sweet.
Yeah, so if you want to get in on that, go to patreon.com/lasercomb. Join the Discord, link in the description as always. If you want to interact with us, best way to interact. We're both pretty active on the Discord. We have a few quite active listeners on there.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to all of you. So yeah, join the Discord. We will be back in 2 weeks' time with another Patreon pick. This one is from Vampiro2K. Speaking of people on the Discord.
Yeah.
What he wants us to watch is the mid-2000s anime.
Critically acclaimed.
Samurai Champloo. You guys just really keep wanting me to watch anime, huh?
I've been meaning to watch this forever.
I believe I've seen a couple of episodes of it back in the day, but it's been a long time. So I don't really remember anything about it.
Well, it's
So
about samurais and it's about shampoo. So what's not to like?
Sam Raimi shampoo, yes.
Sa-
So
Curious.
I am going to hit screen share, as always. Share. You just got to share.
Excuse me, princess. Ooh,
List of episodes. How many do we got? 26. Pretty standard
oh,
for an anime.
not too bad. Yeah, just had one run.
Pretty standard
I
for an
like.
anime as long as you're not Bleach or One Piece.
Ooh, I mean, oh shit.
Hey, we landed on episode 2. Almost the beginning. And it's not a part 2 or anything like that.
Heck yeah.
Oh, episode 3 is a part 1. Episode 4 is a part 2. So, yeah, looks like
Red Eye Reprisal.
Red Eye Reprisal. Desperate for money, for food, for shelter, the three overhear rumors of an ogre on the loose,
Sweet.
whom Mugen offers to kill for a local innkeeper.
Huh.
Yeah, cool.
We're killing ogres, folks.
Well, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time with that. And until then, I have been The Siege, one of your hosts.
And I have been the fabulous Kalinius Magic Cunt. And for my next trick, you'll never have to watch me swat at flies again.
And until next time, we'll pull a rabbit out of our asses.
Wingardium
next
Leviosa.
time.
Patronus. You're a wizard, Harry.
Cunnilingus Cybertronus.
Oh shit. That is one of the band. That is the unspeakable curse. Cunnilingus Cybertronus.
You may be a Cunnilingus Cybertronus, but I am a master debater of Iacon.
Oh shit. Master Debiacon.
Something like that.
Next week's TME, so
Yeah.
we'll refine the joke.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Catch you later.